We continue our coverage of the death of Kobe Bryant in a helicopter crash this afternoon in California. Anthony Tall joins us. He's an NBA sports agent, CEO of the Aspire Sports Group. Anthony, a devastating loss to not just the world of basketball, but to the nation, fans around the globe. What did Kobe Bryant mean to the sport and to the way one behaves as a sportsman?
Well, this is one of the saddest days that I've ever seen in LA. I mean, everyone in this town is just totally shaken up. Kobe Bryant's legacy in this town was, I mean, he came in and brought Hollywood back to Hollywood. And brought basketball and made these guys, made basketball players Hollywood stars. That was the light he was seen in. After the 80s Lakers were gone, when Kobe came, and I seen Kobe in one of his first exhibition games down in San Diego, and everyone thought he was going to be a really, really great player, but no one knew he would take the league by storm the way he did.
What did you think when you saw him then? When he came out and you saw Kobe for the first time?
Well, I still remember he had that was back when he had the afro, and he just looked so young, and there was just so much hype around him and so much talk about him. And I just was like, who's this young kid? And they said he was from Philadelphia, and he spoke 3 languages, and he had lived in Italy. So he seemed amazing at that time. But he came out, and I can't remember how many points he scored that night, but it was something about him. And this was an exhibition game that said that he is going to take this franchise, the Los Angeles Lakers franchise, back to glory, and he basically did. And what he means to the league and what he's going to mean to the pantheon of great players is memorable, and we can't measure it right now because everyone's just trying to put everything in perspective. But the man, and then the whole incident in Colorado, the way that he was able to reestablish his brand and get beyond that and move beyond that. And he started going out more. He started talking to people more. You know, one of the things is that he said you just got to get out there and talk to people. Because before the incident in Colorado, he wasn't known to be a person who had, who was kind of just out there. After that, you would see Kobe at the promenade. You would see him at the ocean with his daughters. And he would just be out there walking around. And he would talk to the city. And that built his brand. And
he started coaching his daughter's basketball team. We've shown the reports that his 13-year-old daughter, Gigi, was on board. They were going down to a basketball game tournament. It's the Mamba mentality that he had. And this is just crushing for his family and for all those who follow him. Crushing news of the personal loss of young people with Kobe on this helicopter. Talk about the Mamba mentality for a moment. Why he was so different. Why he was so special.
Well, it's one thing that Kobe said. I seen him say this interview. He said in an interview one time, he said, at age 7, I knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So his mentality, the Mamba mentality at that time, and he specifically said, so I had everyone else beat because everything I do, every mile I walk, every time I go to the gym, every book I read is going to be geared towards me being the greatest basketball player ever. So that was the Mamba mentality, was that this is all he's going to ever do is be the greatest basketball player ever. And if you look at his work ethic and knowing that, I mean, think about that. Just think about that for a second. If any person says, I've already got you beat because I know what I'm going to be doing at 18, at 20, at 25, and then everything else is going to be directed and energy is going to be put into that situation. If you think about that, that's the Mamba mentality. That's the mentality that he brought to the Lakers and the energy that he brought to the city. And just the work ethic and the demand. He never demanded anything less than perfection. And he was known to be kind of tough and hard on other players, but so was Michael Jordan, but that's how you get 5 championships. So the Mamba mentality was just a killer instinct. I want the ball with 5 seconds left on the clock. I want the ball in my hands. I want to shoot that last shot. That's the Mamba mentality.
Anthony Tall, thank you for your thoughts as you remember Kobe Bryant on this afternoon. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Kobe Bryant, his family, there are no words.
This is truly a surreal day. Our coverage continues. Stay right here on Fox News Channel. Kobe Bryant, unfortunately dead at 41.
A Fox News alert. We are awaiting an update from the L.A. County Sheriff's Department in Malibu, California, on the helicopter crash that has killed 5 people today, including basketball legend Kobe Bryant. That news conference expected to begin any moment. We will bring that to you as soon as it gets underway. The basketball world, the nation, and fans around the globe in shock and in sorrow with news that NBA superstar Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash in California. Good evening, I'm John Scott. This is a special edition of the Fox Report. The 41-year-old former Los Angeles Laker was among the 5 people on board the chopper when it went down in the hills above Calabasas this morning in foggy conditions. We are awaiting an update from the L.A. County Sheriff's Department in Malibu, California on the crash. That's expected to start at any moment. As I told you just a moment ago, we will bring it to you as soon as it gets underway. We do know that an NTSB GO team is on its way to the crash site to try to begin the painstaking process of figuring out what went wrong. Right now, though, we go to Christina Coleman. She is in Los Angeles with the latest. Christina?
Well, John, multiple reports are out right now stating that Kobe's 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, was also killed in the accident, along with a teammate of Bryant's daughter, a parent of the teammate, and the pilot. Now, we have not independently confirmed that information, but a press conference is set to start on this soon and will likely provide more details. And as you've mentioned, so many people in shock right now with news that Kobe Bryant, a 41-year-old father, husband, and NBA legend, died this morning in this helicopter crash. The NBA held a moment of silence before the game between the Houston Rockets and Denver Nuggets. It's one of 8 games scheduled today. The Lakers are off today, and it's unclear as of now whether games this evening will go on as scheduled. According to NBA TV, the Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs both took 24-second violations at the top of the game today to honor Kobe. Now, this all just goes to show the lasting and big impact Kobe Bryant had on the entire league. He retired in 2016 after 20 years in the game, drafted right out of high school, and set record after record. And in fact, he was only just yesterday eclipsed as number 3 on the all-time scoring list by LeBron James. Reaction again pouring in from people who played with him and idolized him, expressing their extreme shock and mourning, including President Trump. He just tweeted a statement that reads, quote, "Reports are that basketball great Kobe Bryant and 3 others have been killed in a helicopter crash in California. That is terrible news." And from the sports world, Tristan Thompson with the Cleveland Cavaliers writing, "Rest in peace, Kobe. I can't believe this is true. I'm at a loss for words." Tom Brady, quarterback for the New England Patriots, writing, "We miss you already, Kobe." Again, just some of the reactions, and many of them coming in right now. The helicopter went down shortly before 10 a.m. local time this morning. 4 other people were also killed. The FAA and the NTSB are set to investigate. LA's Mayor Eric Garcetti describing Kobe on Twitter today as a giant who inspired, amazed, and thrilled people everywhere with his incomparable skill on court. He goes on to say that Kobe has awed us with his intellect and humility as a father, husband, and creative genius. So you see it right there. Investigators going to be looking into this. So many questions as to exactly what happened. We do know that there were foggy conditions this morning above those hills. So we'll just have to wait and see what is said about this. But again, a press conference set to start on this any moment now, hopefully, and will provide us with more details. John?
Christina Coleman, we will go to that news conference live as soon as it begins. Christina, thank you. For more, we want to bring in sportscaster and Fox News contributor Jim Gray. Jim, I know from watching your earlier appearances that this was more than just a man you covered. He was a personal friend and a close one.
Indeed he was, John. I've known him literally his entire life, from being held in his mother's arms, Pam's arms, when Jelly Bean Joe Bryant was a player.
His father was a pro basketball player.
Correct. Played with the Philadelphia 76ers and the San Diego Clippers. And I've known Kobe all this time, covered his first game, was there when Jerry West engineered the trade that brought him from the Hornets to the Lakers, did his last interview for Fox in his uniform. And this is a devastating moment for me, for fans around the world, for his family, obviously, and it's just horribly tragic.
So let me ask you this. Having known him since he was a little baby, at what point did you think,